I had the privilege of meeting Gina for the first time at a Rotary meeting, and then there was another presentation at NCH. And Gina is with Golden Paws, and so we have Gina and a great guest named Hank. And Gina will tell us about Golden Paws and the works being done with veterans. And Gina, welcome to Lately Presbyterian Church, and thanks for bringing Hank. Great having you here.
Good morning. I'm sorry I have my back.
Now, don't leave here saying the church is going to the dogs. Do not say that when you go out.
Come here, Hank. Oh, yeah. There's a captain. Oh, we didn't have this at the first service. Come here, Hank. I hope he's an outfit. Yes, he is. Wait. And he's not going to stay down for long, not with this group. No. Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? Everyone all right in the back? I have a pretty big voice, so Ed left me. There he is. I am going to go off script. I was here for the 9 o'clock service, and I hope all of you enjoyed your sleep in this morning because I think there was only 12 here. So I did my little speech that I give, and I saw this audience, and I thought, no, I'm gonna talk about something a little different, and I am limited on my time, so cut me off, pull the hook. But Ed, not to bury the lead, but he gave a wonderful sermon. You're in for a treat. It was a very good sermon. But Ed said in one of his final lines, "By losing, we gain." I am a widow of 7 years. I lost my husband. I lost my golden retriever the next month. And today would have been my 42nd wedding anniversary. So, oh, thank you. Is this okay? Okay. So today would have been my 42nd wedding anniversary. So, and then a lady, when I came in, she said, "I think I've seen you at Home Depot before." And it reminded me of a story. So I'm here to speak about our mission. It's simple. We have golden retrievers, and we train them as service dogs for combat wounded veterans. They can be anywhere from fully disabled, loss of a limb, wheelchair bound, to PTSD. Hank, we did this again. They don't want to look at your rear. So I'm going to tell you a little bit, and Ed has heard this before. I'm going to tell you a little bit about, I've worked on 12 veteran placements. I started working with puppies. I worked my way up to senior handler, and I have had the honor of working on 12 placements. And those people have changed my life, and I wouldn't have been with them without me losing someone. And I gained this in my life. I gained this by meeting people like you. So I am thankful for that. I have one particular veteran who came to us 4 years ago, and one of our most severe cases of PTSD. And we had trained together. He was a gentleman, a kind soul, and he was a pastor. And love of his life, he married his high school sweetheart. And we're in a training, we've leveled our training that we're heading to Home Depot now. We've trained at the center. He's ready for a public outing with his dog, Elvis. And Elvis and Al and I are all heading to Home Depot. And Al said to me, "You know, I came to your organization because of Home Depot." And he said, "I was in Home Depot and I smelled the wood burning as they saw. You know how they saw the wood in the back of Home Depot? And I could smell the wood. And it took me back to combat. And it took me back to those days. And I was in the restroom at the time, and all of a sudden everything went white. And I came out, and there were 2 brown-skinned men, and I went to put my hands around their neck." And he said, all of a sudden, someone came across the speaker, and it snapped me out of it. Now, imagine this. I'm driving to Home Depot, and I'm thinking, boy, bad choice, Gina, of your first outing with this gentleman. But what that told me is how much help he needed from that dog, and how much he needed to get back into the public, and how much, and this dog did go on to save his life. He is a remarkable man, and yet he had to move. You know this story. He had to move because his doctor felt he needed to be near his family in Arizona. So 2 years ago, he moved to Arizona. Elvis, Al, and Trish. And on Trisha's 60th birthday, Thanksgiving Day a year ago, they were hit head on by a drunk driver. And Elvis and Trish were killed instantly. I never thought in my life that one individual with such a faith in God, such a love for God, such a love for his wife, and we changed his life with one dog, and this could happen to him. I never thought that someone should have died, and I really did. It was unbearable. And at the time, I had a dog in my home, Parker. I was raising him. He was one of our Paws dogs, and I looked at our director and I said, and you've met Parker. I said, Parker's going. This is the dog that is going to save this man's life. And on Father's Day last year, I flew with Parker to Arizona, and I worked with him for a week, and I placed him in the home. And yesterday, I get a text from Al every 3 or 4 days, and he has come so far. And he took Parker to the groomer yesterday, and he sent me a text, and he said, he's only away from me 2 hours, and I miss him so much. And I love him, and thank you. Thank you for doing this. I didn't know how I would do it, but I did. And so that's what we do. That's what my goal is to change people's lives from such a tragedy, and to have that opportunity. I am so grateful. And I'm thankful for you today. I ran over my 5 minutes, I'm sure. But don't cut the sermon short. It was a good sermon. So thank you for having me. I am going to leave because Hank and I have been here since 8:30. So he's like a toddler. He's ready to go. But we are located, we are all private funding. We try to keep our dogs local. And we have 28 right now. We have 28 beautiful golden retrievers in training to save some man's life or a woman's life or a child's life. And I thank you for letting me share it with you today. So I appreciate it very much.